With an injury scare and more details on the White Rabbit teases, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Talking about throwing a fireball for an episode of Dynamite, Chris Jericho revealed on the AEW Unrestricted podcast, Memphis, someone threw a fireball. Okay, I'll throw a fireball in your face. It worked. Then we were at commentary and I was thinking, who throws a fireball? A wizard, maybe. I'm a wizard. Read the room. Back in the day, everyone brings signs. There are no signs anymore. You go on Twitter and everyone is like, wizard, memes, gifs. That's a thing. All I need to do is throw a fireball one more time. We went to Vegas. There was a problem. I had my magician's license. You need that to throw a fireball in the vicinity of Vegas. The problem was, it didn't come in time. So we had to go outside the boundaries of Vegas to throw the fireball at the stagehand. Guys, don't tell me why it's not going to work. My internal Wayne Gretzky stay ahead is we needed to throw another fireball today. It's at the peak. Next week would be too late. We figured it out, made it happen. The kid took the fireball, and now it's a thing. I did it one more time with Umino. That's it. I never have to throw it again. I can fake it, I can tease it, or maybe I do it. It's now part of Chris Jericho canon. During that same interview, Jericho also touched on Jon Moxley's idea to have gasoline poured on him. Let's just play the song Wild Thing. People loved it. Then I'll be the a-hole that grabs, can we get a stereo and pull some wires? I'll break it. As soon as I throw it down, cut the music off. That worked out. Mox was like, what if Eddie came down with gas and poured it on you? No one is ever going to allow that. What if they did? That moment is so iconic. Eddie Kingston loves Puerto Rican wrestling. With former WWE champion Batista cutting his teeth in Hollywood, Deadline has announced another movie lined up for the animal. A South Beach bouncer, Ray Sagona, played by Batista, who is on the brink of finding redemption and getting his family back. But when a drug-filled safe is stolen from the club he works at, Ray is blackmailed into finding it before the Miami PD Narcotics Bureau comes to retrieve it on Sunday night. Now, as his past and present collide in ever more dangerous ways, Ray must survive an epic 36-hour odyssey across Miami Beach to get that safe back, one final Herculean task on his journey towards absolution. As Finn Balor, leader of the Judgment Day, continues his feud with Edge and Rey Mysterio, it's been said by WrestleVotes that I'm told that significant plans are lined up for Finn Balor in the future. I don't know exactly for what those plans are, but he is a strong favorite of the new leadership group. Expect Finn to play a big role in the foreseeable future of WWE. With Mia Yim returning to Impact Wrestling earlier in the year following a release from WWE, it's been noted that her time in the promotion could be coming to an end. When she'd signed, Fightful was told that it was a short-term deal, carrying her into October. We've learned some more specific details on that. We're told that the contract expiration is on October 9th, which would make Mia Yim a free agent from that point. That runs through Impact's Bound for Glory pay-per-view. We haven't heard if any talks have continued, but have confirmed that currently the deal is set to expire. Recalling his final conversation with Chris Benoit prior to the star slaying his wife's son and then taking his own life, Rob Van Dam said on Rene Dupree's podcast in 06 or 07, whenever it was the same situation, but at this time he said, Rob, I heard you were leaving. I said, yeah, when my contract's up. I'm not going to re-sign. He goes, hey, a lot of us respect you for that, man. I said, okay, I'm not saying I'm never going to come back. Hey, it doesn't matter. You know when it's right to leave. A lot of us don't know that, so we respect you for that. So good on you. RVD also recently signed an exclusive licensing deal for his cannabis products with the Grapefruit CEO and co-founder commenting in a press release, our industry has matured over the past several years, and the maturation has fundamentally focused success in the retail marketplace around effective product branding. There is a lot of competition for product shelf space in retail stores. Retailers look to the brands that are likely to generate the most sales, and the well-known cannabis brands are the ones consumers will choose. Our strategic partnership with Rob Van Dam and his team is a natural fit. Rob is a cannabis pioneer with a large and loyal following. His cannabis brand, RVD, has has an advantage that other cannabis products lack and fits the new Cannabis 3.0 environment, which is all about creating exciting and popular branded cannabis and hemp-based products. We look forward to expanding our footprint in California and eventually nationwide, bringing the highest quality RVD cannabis products to California cannabis consumers and patients in need to enhance their health and well-being. Grapefruit's plan for transitioning into a science-based cannabiotech company remains unabated while we capitalize on Cannabis 3.0 in California. Getting into details regarding the creative for the White Rabbit teases during WWE shows, who many seem to think has to do with Bray Wyatt, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful reported that we're told not everyone was sold on the QR aspect of the White Rabbit teases, but those that we've spoken with backstage say that it's been a major success and created even more than the intended buzz for the segment. We've learned that WWE creative has been largely hands-off with the segments, and most everyone we talk to backstage aren't sure of the small details that are involved. WWE higher-ups clearly are aware of the plans and how things will work moving forward. Those in the know claim that WWE Extreme Rules was supposed to be the reveal of the White Rabbit. We were not told if the person portraying would be there physically or not. With Tony D'Angelo seemingly injuring his foot during a match against Wesley on NXT, Dave Meltzer noted this about the situation on F4WOnline.com. Earlier in the match, the way he was moving very slow. So I think there may have been something leading to this. It wasn't like it just came out of nowhere. It wasn't like he wasn't hurt and then all of a sudden he got hurt on a drop toe hold. I think that he was trying to gut through something and then that very simple, not very dangerous looking thing at all just was like the straw that broke the camel's back maybe. From what I understand, it's not that bad in the sense that I don't think it's major surgery or anything, because I've heard he'll be back sooner than you would think, but he is hurt. Talking the Unrestricted podcast, Chris Jericho recalled his conversations with Vince McMahon prior to his signing with AEW. I worked for WCW and then I started working for Vince. This is the only place I'm going to work forever again, until I leave and the New Japan thing starts, and Kenny Omega's from Winnipeg. Nobody's from Winnipeg. The guy who's commentating, who's facilitating this idea, is Don Callis. He's also from Winnipeg. That really appealed to me. A Tokyo Dome main event between two Winnipeggers, with a Winnipegger on commentary. I remember calling Vince the first time going, Vince, I've got this New Japan thing at the Tokyo Dome, and he's like, go do it, it's fine, it's great. So relieved I got permission. So my mindset was never to go work anywhere else. The one thing I could vividly recall is he wouldn't look at me. He's looking away. He's talking away. Then I realized he's nervous. What I didn't realize at the time was that Tony, he was a huge fan of mine. It was a big deal for him to meet me. He gave me one offer, and I said, give me another offer. I called Vince. Vince, through his intermediary, said, take the deal. I was like, all right, that's all I need to hear. So I took the deal. Next week, he calls me back. We're talking about something, and he goes, did you sign it? I'm like, yeah. He goes, what? Can you get out of it? I'm like, no. You already said to take it. I don't like when people don't call me back. I'm not the god of wrestling, but give me a call back. I made a lot of money for you, and I was getting the, he'll call you back at 5. Can he call you back at 8? Like, no, I'm super chill. But when it comes to something that perceives to be disrespectful, I will lock the door. I was like, I'm done. Take the deal, and whatever happens, happens, and I was 100% in. When asked about Bret Hart previously saying she was the best wrestler in the world, former WWE Women's Champion Melina told MCW Backstage Pass, incredible. Some people could hate Bret. A lot of people love him, and I love him because he is a nice person. He does teach, and he's given his life and his heart to wrestling. Him and his entire family. I have so much respect for that, and I do believe he deserves his credit, and to have him say that means the world to me. Him saying that, I could never wrestle again and I'll be okay. Talking to Metro News about fans' reactions to her antics with Dominik Mysterio, Rhea Ripley noted, "Oh, I've seen. Being a menace is the one thing I really enjoy doing, so I'm loving every second of it. I mean, I relish in it, I really do. I enjoy every second, especially knowing how worked up everyone's going to be about it. That just drives me to being more of a menace in a way. But yeah, I love what I do. I am enjoying it." Providing a reason for his absence from WWE programming, Bobby Roode gave an update on his health, writing, "Heading home after what is hoped to be a successful trip to Birmingham, Alabama. Big thank you to South Lake Ortho and Andrews Sports Medicine for taking great care of me this week, especially to the first-class medical staff of Dr. Michael Ellerbush, Dr. Andrew Cordover, and Dr. Charles Carnell." In an update on a doctor no longer with WWE, Brad Shepard reported on Unleashed that a source in WWE told me Dr. Chris Amann's employment appears to have been terminated this week, according to an internal document. Dr. Amann was WWE's senior ringside physician, and more famously, was the doctor named in the CM Punk lawsuit. Reacting to her first promo in AEW, Saraya, known as Paige in WWE, wrote on Twitter, "On a good note, I'm so proud of the women yesterday. Not only did they get more than 5 minutes to have a match, it was the first ever lumberjack match. A woman on commentary, and a good portion of the roster being showcased. That's a win, even if I was a little rusty." And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.